Hi, and welcome.
I'm Z.
And I'm Keith.
And we're going to tell you about the movie that we just watched. But first, a little bit of a heads up.
Some of the movies we watch deal with heavy subject matters.
In order to talk about these emotionally delicate things and the heavy subject matters that we sometimes cover, we add humor and crude language to add some levity and to process our own trauma.
If that doesn't feel fun or safe for you, we completely understand. Please take care of yourself first and foremost.
And we spoil the end of pretty much every movie that we watch.
Now you know. On with the show. Flash. Flash for fantasy. So we just watched The Being.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Follow us on the platforms.
Yeah, follow us
ZNK
on...
Movie Pod.
Yeah, ZNK Pod. No, shit. ZNK Movie Pod? ZNK. Yeah, Movie Pod, I think. On everything. Twitter, Instagram. That's it. We don't. YouTube, all of it. I have been...
Newly launched Renfield channel.
What?
The newly launched Renfield channel. You can follow us there.
Oh, God.
I'm just having fun talking shit on Renfield. Even though my boy Ben Schwartz is in it.
Oh, that's why you brought Ben Schwartz up this morning.
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, I know.
Oh
I just didn't
God.
remember. I was waking up and I thought you were talking about a sword and you were like 4:15 and I was like, what time is it? Like, I was so confused.
I cannot tell you how many times I've woken Z up talking about
A sword.
medieval weaponry.
I don't know what the fuck I was dreaming.
Ballista, this. Trebuchet, that.
You heard it here
Mace.
first, folks. Mate? Oh.
Morning Star. Fudgicle.
Was it Raspberry
Hammerlock.
Swirl or whatever? Oh, fuck. What was it? In The Long Good Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raspberry Swirl. Million times funnier than chalk ice. Apparently.
So we didn't do we shot these a little bit out of sequence. This month we didn't do. Yeah, we had some unfortunate balls. We had some unfortunate
Balls.
circumstances, and then a cool guest on, and that's great. But usually on our last episode,
yeah, we usually
do a
release
recap
them
and say like what. Yeah, we do them in order, or even if whatever. We say like what was your favorite. So I would like to cover that in this one.
Even though it's going to come out before the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think we have to give away anything about the films. But yeah. We don't have to do it yet.
We're going to shit on the final movie of the month?
Are we going to shit on the final? I
Figured you will.
No, I enjoyed it.
I
thought it was so much fun. Anyway.
Okay. You want to do that at the end?
Yeah, I think doing that. I just wanted to say like we're probably, I would still like to do it, but it's not going to be in sequence.
Right.
You're going to be like, why are you talking about that now? So yeah, we watched The Being, which was a movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
Girl, same. No, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
During this film, I had the thought that I now that we're doing this, especially
The podcast?
yes,
Okay.
I'm glad I didn't. I haven't watched hardly any Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like this is the kind of film they would do.
Yeah, and it would have been ruined for you, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies. A lot of
And that's our job. It's our job to ruin.
For real. Like, I want to do that firsthand. I want to have that firsthand experience. Like, sometimes it's funny to watch other people do it, and I don't even know about riff tracks.
Oh, same. No.
I know it exists. That's it.
Same. Yeah. Yeah.
And in general, like, PFT and Janie do watch-alongs where they do commentary.
I always want to do that.
It might be fun live, but like I don't want to listen. Like it's not.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
It would
be
fun for us, probably.
Yeah. I sort of enjoy when seeing like.
My one exception that comes to mind.
Okay.
David Schmader's commentary on Showgirls.
But I see commentary, in my opinion, is different than a watch along. Because you're actually watching the movie.
Yeah, you're right.
As they're like, you're not having to like pair two things up or whatever. Like,
well, it's also like not first viewing.
Correct. Yeah.
Typically,
yes.
I think that's why it is. I'm like, no,
yeah.
Let me have my
correct
reactions to things.
I kind of enjoy. I wish that I knew how to do these sorts of things. I love that the wind is just making the fan go. That's funny. That's funny.
God is everywhere.
It's proof that God exists. The wind is making the fan blow and not the other way around. Fucking
trees.
What? It's a miracle. So I enjoy when people do like reaction watch-alongs, like actually like film themselves watching something.
Oh, I see.
That's really enjoyable, and I really like that. I watched a bunch of reaction. I don't know why, but the episode of The Haunting of Hill House when it's revealed who the broke neck girl is, and I watched a bunch of reaction like videos to that episode, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that with something. I thought about doing that with Picard because
you had some reactions.
I've had some reactions. Like every single time I start watching it, I have to warn Keith that I'm watching it in the other room because he'll be like, "Oh my God, what's happening? Literally. Are you okay? Is someone killing you?" Even if I'm watching Picard, you're gonna hear a lot of noises. He'll be like, "Are you sure everything's okay?" And I'm just literally screaming like while watching it. It's so good. Anyway, whatever. But I only thought about doing that like halfway through the season, and I was like, oh man, that would have been a fun sort of like thing to do. But alas, maybe I'll do it with the final season of Discovery or something.
Maybe
box. I want to set that box on fire. Fucking Christ! I gotta figure it out. It's traumatizing me to even. There's so many things that anyway. You can cut this part out of it, but. That whole box is a trauma. That
whole box is a trauma. Trauma box.
It's reminding me of my traumatic childhood.
This is a new subscription service is dropped. Trauma box. Every month you'll get a box of things from your past that trigger you.
Which configuration is that?
Yeah. All of them. Right. All of them.
I honestly didn't really know what you can pick what your childhood trauma is, like mental abuse, physical abuse, religious trauma. You just get a box based on your
right.
That would be so fucking perfect.
You'll get one that you open it up and it just sexually assaults you. Good joke, Z. Can't believe you. Yeah, back at you live.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That was so good. Oh, my God. I fucking love watching Law and Order with you. It's so much. It's so good. Especially like the later seasons of SVU that just like, go off the rails.
It's gotten real rough.
It's so out of pocket. Anyway, I didn't really know anything about The Being going in.
Same.
We did a little F up and we started watching it before we filmed The Lobby. But even the 10 minutes that we saw, or not even like, or maybe whatever, the 5 to 10 minutes that we saw before then didn't really prepare me for what was to come. I mean, it did, but it did not. Like, the same thing just kept happening.
Yeah.
The same thing kept happening throughout the film, but it wasn't really, I still didn't really know. Yeah, it's so much.
Depends on a red wheelbarrow.
What?
It's a poem.
Oh, the red wheelbarrow. Yeah, it was the movie. It stars who?
Rex Coltrane.
Rex Coltrane, that's what it is. And the reason why so we discovered while watching it that he has like 2 names. It's like Ben Oslo or something.
Bill Osco?
Bill Osco. I was close. Bill Osco and then also Rex Coltrane. And he was like, I don't know why he has 2 different names. But in the trivia, after we watched the movie, I looked up the trivia, and Rex Coltrane was doing adult films. And this was like one of his regular non-adult films.
His first, presumably.
His first, yeah. Very fascinating.
He's in Cop Killers, which is on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, presumably he's in Flesh Gordon.
Yeah, he's in Flesh Gordon. Yeah.
But that's the theory. I don't know if that's why it's Rex Coltrane. I don't know if that was his adult
That's what
film.
It said. I thought it said like, I mean, I assume whatever.
No, that was the connection I made. The trivia just says this is his first.
Yeah, I said that's what I assume. I didn't say. I thought you were saying, sorry, when I said that's what it says, what I meant was it said he was in Flesh Gordon. I thought you were saying you don't know that he was actually in that. And I'm like, it named him in it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, that's what it said. But yeah, like, I don't know. It was, he had so much. This was wild. So this was written and directed by a woman.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting to me. That's very fascinating.
His wife at the time, who was a recent college grad and had no experience.
Yeah. And she, I guess.
I mean, no
film
directorial experience.
She got Martin Landau to agree to it because she pretended to be like someone interested in, I don't know. She pretended to be interested in learning the craft from him or something like that. I don't know exactly. I stopped reading because we were in the middle of watching it and I never finished that.
I mean, that was basically it.
Yeah. But super fascinating. What?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia for Bill Osco. Oh. The final section is called Style.
Oh, okay.
The style of Osco's erotic movies has been described as awful in the sense that the dialogues are plain, the costumes of poor confection, and the sex scenes disturbingly uninspired.
Oh my God. That's...
Vincent Canby describes Osco's style as, quote, consistent vulgarity.
Oh my God.
He was also apparently in one of the first adult films to get a theatrical release in 1970.
Wow.
Called Mona.
Oh, shit. Another thing I loved about working at the theater is that people would tell me all the time, or like the whole, it used to be an adult film theater, and people would lose their shit.
Yeah.
And as I said before, and I'll say it again, the nun that came in that was like so excited that they were showing a Christian film in a theater that used to show porn, and she was like, "We did it. We won against pornography." And I was like, no one tell her that the internet exists. No one tell her why they don't show them in the theaters anymore.
Well, and a great B line subplot in this film is the anti-smut crusaders.
Oh, yeah.
Led by the mayor's wife, played by Ruth Buzzi.
Happy Easter, Mortimer. Isn't this terrific? Everyone's helping out. We're going to sweep the smut right out of this town.
How do you know of Ruth Buzzi? Just from
Laugh-In?
Okay, from Laugh-In. Okay.
Which was on reruns when I was a kid.
I mean, of course I've seen her in things, but like I was just curious, like if that was your specific, if that was your that was your route.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd seen her in anything else ever.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, they have a thing where people are like literally sweeping.
Yes.
As a performative. Protest.
Like cleaning the streets
outside of a empty storefront that they're like, this is probably going to be a massage parlor.
Every time I think the seconds are minutes, and I'm like, how have we talked so long?
I don't know why it gives 3 fucking digits worth of
4
milliseconds.
That's true. I know. It's like, I mean, I guess I know why. Oh yeah, that's stupid, but
I don't need that many. Anyway, that's what fucks me up about it, I think.
It's true.
Anyway, set in Pottsville, Idaho. And there's a little bit of narration over the beginning.
The ultimate terror has taken form, and Pottsville, Idaho will never be the same.
Yeah, that was
completely
a
unneeded.
trailer.
Yeah.
Keith and I were honestly afraid that we had not gotten the actual film.
Yes.
We'd had just accidentally gotten a trailer of it.
Yeah, I'm like, let me check the time code, runtime, because
it was so weird. Also, I saw a thing that was like goofs, and it was like, it does this a lot in the movie where it's like goes from from light to day, or from day to night, and like from light to day, from light to day,
and from dark to night.
It goes from like. Yeah, it'll do like sunset, sunrise kind of shit. And it listed, the goofs was like, in the beginning, it's daylight. And as we're following the kid, by the time he gets to the car, it's night. And I'm like, that literally happens most of the film. Like, when it's...
Also, I don't think that's true.
It is a little bit. It's not fully day.
I do a little bit.
But it's like...
I thought it was like sunset when it opens.
It is.
Okay.
But it's like, and I'm like, this is not a goof. It's done on purpose. Like, that's literally the whole point of it, is that it comes out at night. Like, that's the whole fucking thing.
Okay, so...
that's supposed to be your first clue, not a goof, you dipshit.
So the setting is Idaho, and this town hosts a dump site for a nuclear power plant.
Yeah. I love this. I do love Martin Landau's whole spiel that's like, it's safer to dump nuclear waste into your water than it is to wear a watch.
As you see, I have no hesitation drinking this water. There's as much radiation from a TV set or a radio.
I fucking love that shit. I loved that.
It's great.
Shit.
Like I said, when you first see him, it's one of the characters are watching the TV, and he's like on a news program, and they're like, "What do you say about these concerns about radioactivity in the water?" And he does this demo. He's like, "Here's water from our local aquifer." I
love it too, because
I said, people still do this shit. Politicians still go every year at least to Flint, Michigan, to be like, yummy water.
Yeah, and
everything's fine.
My favorite thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably smartened up a little bit now, but like like in the scene that Martin Landau does, he's just pouring from a pitcher of water that's already been there. And he's like, this is absolutely 100% water from that place. And it's like, I love it so much. It's so perfect. Like, it's so stupid.
Same with the Geiger counter.
Yes. Oh my God.
Like, who the fuck knows?
Exactly. This Geiger counter is set correctly. So good. It's so fucking good and perfect.
So, okay. So we got a nuclear dumping.
Nuclear dumping.
We have what else? We're told by the voiceover at the beginning that people are going missing. Or no, maybe it's the DJ at the beginning that says this. There have been storms.
I'm pretty sure it's the voiceover.
There have been storms.
Yeah.
And weird happenings.
Yeah.
What I like is, despite giving a fair amount of the exposition that isn't done by the
correct
narration.
Yes.
The DJ is so cavalier about everything.
I know.
He's like, well, we had a bunch of weird storms just the other day, and well, it's finally clearing up for Easter. Hear about some country music. Hey, welcome back. Just another beautiful day here in Pottsville. 3 more people gone missing. But here's a nice tune to float your day.
So fucking ridiculous.
Hey, that brings us right up to the rooster crowing time here in Kidder Country. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. We've just received reports of 3 more people missing due to the storm, bringing the total to 5. But some good news. Looks like we got us one beautiful Easter Sunday, folks. This is the break in the weather we all been waiting for. And this old boy's gonna call it a night. Good morning to you, and God bless.
Also, I do love the fact that, like, fucking... it's just like, yeah, like people are going missing, and I love that it's set at Easter, and they do make a point of like showing so many Easter things,
but for no reason,
no
at all.
fucking reason whatsoever. It's amazing. They're like, Easter weekend. I guess they did it so that they could have the baby, like their baby in it or whatever.
Yeah, yes.
Jackie Kong, is it?
Jackie Kong is the director.
Yeah. And Rex Coltrane, I guess, had a baby. And the baby, and that's you, baby.
Baby, you're egg-shaped.
Yeah, and so the baby, yeah, it's so
baby Susie. Roxanne.
Roxanne, that's right.
Is the person's real name. Well, what she's doing.
Yeah.
And is she hot?
I mean, it's a fair
in between our ages.
Yeah, she'd be closer to yours because this was
filmed in 81?
1980.
80.
And shelved for 3 years. It was supposed to come out Easter, like it was supposed to be called like Easter.
Yeah.
Like Easter Sunday or something like that, and it was supposed to be, and it was shelved for 3 years, and then finally.
Yeah, because the version I have says 83.
Yeah.
IMDb says 81.
Right. Everything. There's so many different. I just said 83 because that was what I kept seeing when I would Google it. It would say 83, and I'm like, fine. You know what? I'm. Just
this happens with
several
a lot of independent and low budget films because
they get
like even I recently
times.
watched. I should link to it here, and I want to share. I want you to see it. I might share it with Flota too, but like a really lovely. It's like a love letter to the film Trust.
Oh.
The guys,
yeah.
and the guy's talking about. He's like, you'll see multiple dates for movies like this because, especially with independent movies,
yeah.
It takes time. Like they'll be shown on the festival circuit,
right,
and then maybe. At best, the next year they get wider theatrical releases.
Right.
Sometimes it takes longer.
Yeah. It's not like that anymore, really. I mean, now it's like you make. I mean, if sometimes a movie will take a couple years to get actually made, or like the process of it will take some time. But usually, it's like once it's shown, it's picked up, or like once it's made, it's picked up. Like it's really rare to have that kind of thing happen now.
Right. Nowadays, it's all Palm Springs, all the time. I like that we have a movie within a movie.
Yes.
It's
I
also
like
a
movie.
a creature feature.
I like how many tits are in this movie.
Yeah.
I can say that because a woman wrote and directed it, so I feel comfortable with the tits in it.
Feminism.
It's true.
I was going to look for
Tits?
those alternate titles.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually because of the drive-in film and all the titty
Yeah.
there, I was expecting more in the rest of the film, but there really wasn't.
No, there weren't any more titty. Which I think is funny that they put a film inside the film to show titty.
Yeah.
I mean, they still showed a little bit of titty.
And then they do the post, your favorite, like, where they just do title cards telling you what happened to the characters.
God.
But I like that Mort.
Yeah, Mortimer or whatever.
Oh, shit, what's his last name? Anyway, our main guy, Bill Osco, went on to become a Hollywood stuntman.
Yeah.
Okay. Made in 1980 as Easter Sunday.
I was right.
But apparently it's been billed as all kinds of shit. Like,
Yeah.
one of them being like alien flesh eaters or some shit.
Yeah. And when I tell you that scene in the warehouse with the creature, when it is this, Jackie Kong was greatly inspired by the film Alien. Like, there's nothing, like, even the fucking outfit that fucking Rex wears, I feel like, what's his name? Oh, I gotta look up Alien. One of them. It like, literally, it just looks like...
Well, I mean, like, any movie from, like, 1977 to 82.
Yeah.
A guy's going to be dressed like that. But, is it Sam Waterston? He's an alien, right?
No. Sam Waterston?
Yeah.
No. Sam Waterston is not an alien.
Oh, shit. Who am I thinking of then?
Tom
Harry
Skerritt.
Dean Stanton. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah. I think it's Harry Dean Stanton might be who I'm thinking of. Because one of them wears a baseball cap.
I was going to say, yeah, who's wearing a cap?
Yeah. Alien is honestly one of my favorite movies ever.
Oh, real original. Yeah. One of my favorite movies is Citizen Kane. Ugh. And Boondock Saints.
God, you're such a piece of shit.
I've never seen Boondock Saints. I'm just quoting.
I know you haven't.
What did he turn up in?
Who?
Michael Scott's nephew. He's the villain in something, right?
He's in American Horror Story. He's Dahmer. He plays Dahmer.
Dahmer, that's what it is.
Oh man, I'm trying to. There's so many photos from the movie Alien.
The thing about Alien is I forget what a huge fucking cast it has.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I think it's Tom Skerritt that has the baseball cap in it.
Skerritt.
Sorry, not Tom Skerritt. I literally already said Tom Skerritt. I meant the other guy. Harry Dean Stanton, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he has a blue baseball cap and just looks grungy here. This is him, like...
Oh, yeah, totally.
So I'm like, yeah.
Is he supposed to be a mechanic or engineer?
Yeah,
or something
like that. Yeah, he's one of the guys. Yeah, but it has like literally like just a shot of just teeth and like dripping.
Yeah,
dripping teeth.
Not just
and I'm
one,
like,
but definitely one that's like,
girl, yeah. I mean, you know, I think honestly,
I thought it was a good creature payoff.
It was a good creature payoff, but I'm like, man, I think it would have been so much. Like, I'm so sad that it didn't release in 1980 because I think they really would have been able to cash in on that. And I'm like, oh man, this is close enough that it would have really resonated with people that were like got really surprised by Alien.
Well, and it benefits from not being a direct ripoff otherwise.
Correct.
Which there are plenty of those films.
It would have It would have been. It would have been that thing.
Space. It's not on a ship.
It's not aliens. I don't think, even though they kind of imply, but there's no.
No. He's just a mutation.
No, what I'm saying is imply is in the way that the film was advertised. got a lot of
Alien Flesh
like
Eaters.
yeah.
But
right, but
whenever that happened.
yeah, it was like, I guess it was like, oh gosh, my leg is itchy.
Huh.
It was a bio. Hold on.
Some decent moments of soundtrack. Although, as a score, I feel like it's kind of all over the place.
Appeared on scattered triple bills under the title Alien Flesh Eaters from 1986 to 1989. Ads for the film used an image stolen from 1986's Demons. So that's funny. Like, ads use the wrong.
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
And confusing. Why would you do that?
Right, exactly.
I don't know about that film either.
Same, yeah.
I guess picking something more current?
Yeah.
Or, because... The plot of Demons is a group of people are invited to a screening of a mysterious movie only to find themselves trapped in the theater with a ravenous demon. I think I've heard of this. You're not saying much.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking about like what to say about the movie. There's so many. This is, I. The deputy or whatever, Deputy
Dudley,
who's married
Mr.
to
Ruth Buzzi.
Ruth Buzzi, apparently. And his whole, I did like the scene where he's trying to flirt with someone and just looking like a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
That was funny. I like when he's like falls. That was good. They have some weird racism towards a Mexican character.
Yeah.
Who's fishing without a license. And that's the whole.
Oh, right. I forgot. This also goes away. The first half of the film, or maybe not even that, first third, we get Mort's internal dialogue.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot about that. It's not even the first third. I think there's just one time that it happens.
I don't believe you, Dudley. One of the worst storms in 20 years is bringing some poor Mexican for fishing without a license.
Because they have this is what happens.
So.
They have the fucking radio person that's talking, and the voiceover happens
Narration.
over the radio person talking. And then it has like a couple scenes, and then we get Mortimer's internal dialogue for like a scene. And then that's it. And then there's no more. Then the radio person comes back every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it. There might be a part with voiceover again, but I don't remember if there is. And that's it. And then the dream sequence.
Oh, yeah, that dream sequence. Fucking A.
What in the fuck?
That was great.
Yeah. What? This movie is so all over the place. I mean,
it's just what you want for, like, wild editing.
Yes.
Well, the end.
The acting.
Oh, he's not good.
No one's good. I mean, Landau's good.
Landau's
Buzzy's
good. Ruthie's.
Buzzy's good. Dudley does what he's supposed to.
Jose Ferrer also in this film.
I'm just not in the mood for your boring friends.
Oh my God, I forgot. Jose fucking Ferrer.
The Emperor Padishah.
Yeah, oh my God.
Of the known universe.
Oh my God.
And this was before that. Before he was Emperor of the known universe.
No, he wasn't. That came out in 80.
Oh, I thought it was 84.
Wait, what? Oh, fuck, you might be right. Jesus Christ. Jesus!
I mean, that's another one that languished for a long time because it went through like 4 different directors or whatever.
Oh, you're right, 1984.
Okay.
Wow. In the year 10-1-91.
Only because I just brought up a clip from it for a few short days ago when I was editing for The Seventh Sign.
Yeah.
The tooth.
That was good.
Thank you.
I knew you put something in, and I was like, oh, what was I was thinking about it earlier. Yeah,
And he's an odd choice.
Yeah, I mean, there's
I don't know.
much. There's so much. There's so much.
I would have much rather. I mean, I thought he was okay. I mean, it felt a little insulting to him.
You got it.
I would have preferred someone like you want him to be like the mayor in Jaws. I know that doesn't mean anything for you, but
yes, that movie.
I'm thinking of Dick Miller. Dick Miller, who does this role in Piranha, a Jaws ripoff, where he plays the proprietor of like the seaside resort that is threatened to be shut down, or Riverside Resort, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he's the foil to the cop who's trying to save it. But,
yeah.
In Jaws, you got your Roy Scheider.
Is it Scheider or Schneider?
Scheider. This is the problem. Growing up in the 90s, and then there's Rod Steiger, who's nothing like either of those guys.
Who can't even get his name similar to the rest of them. Roy.
What? Scheider. Because it's Ron Schneider. Right?
Who's Ron Schneider?
No, whatever. Shitty.
Rob Schneider.
Ron.
And then Dick Tracy. Like, it just doesn't stop.
Forget about it. Ned Beatty and Warren Beatty, are they even related?
Right. Here's the kicker. You know who is related? Warren Beatty and
George Clooney.
Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, that's right. They're Sibs, huh?
They're Sibs.
I never remember that until you say it.
You know who else is related? John Travolta and... Fuck, I can't remember what her name is.
Frank Travolta.
oh God, what's her? This would be so funny if I could remember her name. What's her name from Grace and Frankie and 9 to 5?
Jane Fonda?
Nope.
Lily Tomlin.
Lily Tomlin. Yep.
Didn't Jane Fonda come on Grace and Frankie?
Yeah, they're both in. Yeah, sorry, they're both in both of them.
Both in both.
Both in both. I forgot Jane Fonda was in 9 to 5. Fucking. Yeah, I grew up being told that Lily Tomlin and John Travolta were brother and sister, and I believed that. What? I believed that until I looked it up. Like I was telling you, I was like, they're brother and sister, and I looked it up, and it's not true. It's one of the many, for whatever reason, I know a lot of details about things. My mom, for whatever reason, informed me on so many people who were siblings in Hollywood that were not true.
Like that one chick on that episode of TNG that's not Linda Hamilton's twin?
Right. She told me that was
twin,
her.
Right?
Yeah, Linda Hamilton is a twin. She was like, that's her sister. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Nope. It's not even related.
No.
What the fuck?
They do look like they could be siblings, not twins though.
Why would you tell me that? Fact. Like here's the thing. There are people that I'm like, oh my God, those two people look like they could be related. And like, oh, I wonder if they're related. They look like they could be related. That's fine. Don't tell me that it's a fact that they're fucking twins. Jesus Christ.
Just deciding.
I know.
Well, that's how it went before the internet,
Yeah.
You just had to make.
I guess you just had to make
your
it up.
own facts.
You had to make it up and then hope you were right.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, I don't know. I mean,
people still don't fact check. So
that's true. That's
very
true.
Easily
and
sometimes
the fact checking is also incorrect. Like it'll be like, this is a thing, and then you look it up and that's not actually true. My favorite is the Wikipedia article on how Wikipedia is biased against people of color. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, we don't Wikipedia articles are mostly written by white people about things they don't necessarily know about, and oftentimes the people who might know and people of color they get taken down as not as like not being able to, like, citations needed and kind of shit. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, this is why when people are like, Wikipedia says, I'm like, that's cool. I look up Wikipedia a lot, but also, if you're white and your main source of knowledge is Wikipedia, then you probably need to just look elsewhere one time. Just try looking elsewhere.
I have no idea what it's like in academic settings.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
But I mean, like, it's funny to me to see how its credibility is taken for granted.
Yeah.
Or how it went from...
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go back that far. I feel like there's a joke somewhere in The Office, in the early seasons of The Office, where like, it says it's on...
Yeah.
It says it's true on Wikipedia. So,
yeah.
And the joke is that that's not reliable.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I remember when Wikipedia came out and everyone was like, oh, this Wikipedia article. And you're like, that was the joke to make, is to talk about Wikipedia, something existing on Wikipedia. And you're like, oh, it's not a good source, Wikipedia, LOL, Wikipedia is a joke. And now it's like, oh, it says so on Wikipedia. And you're like, whoa, Wikipedia says that? I don't know when that turn happened, but... No,
I mean, I think it's interesting.
I do think
culturally,
it's interesting, Same.
Or anthropologically, or what have you, because, like, all the naysayers at the beginning, I'm like, no, you're just being shitty because it's new. Like, there's nothing different about how this operates than putting out a goddamn Britannica or World Book.
Well, that was the thing, I think. It was like, because anyone can make changes to Wikipedia. Yeah. So they're like, oh, you can't guarantee. But the thing is that it doesn't, if you make a change on the Wikipedia page and it is incorrect, it gets taken down. Like, if it's incorrect, which is where some of the racial bias comes in, because a person of color, their story might not be, like, considered credible,
right?
Because they don't have the same academic whatever.
Yeah, it's weird that if you. Okay,
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So this movie,
the being :
this
what's wrong with Wikipedia?
The reason why, if you remember, I don't know if you remember when we were watching, and I said, how long until the movie is over?
Yeah.
And you looked and you're like, oh, like 30 minutes or whatever. And I was like, okay. It was because I was so scared I was not going to be able to stay awake. Mm-hmm. I was so tired. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to stay awake. And I was going to make myself a cup of coffee, but I was like, I think I can make it 30 minutes. And I did.
Bravo.
I did make it 30 minutes, but I was it wasn't that the movie wasn't interesting. I was so exhausted. I was just so tired. And
it does fall in, I mean, I understand.
It was it was a little draggy.
Yeah. I made the joke. It's not the case, but, like, I made the joke. It was late enough in the movie that it's when Mort and Garson, Landau's character, are, like, limping away from the attack and break into the office or whatever. Where the cat is. I wonder if that's the earliest. No, well, no, I guess it can't be. But
the earliest what?
I wonder what the first movie to do a fake jump scare with a cat specifically is.
I mean, at least Alien, so.
Well, that's right, Alien has one. Son of a bitch. I never remember anything about that movie.
Clearly.
And I fully admit that.
It's so good. In my opinion, in my personal opinion. It was one of those that freaked me out when I was a kid. Not because of any of the alien stuff. What freaked me out the most was the scene where the android
turned into a cat. Was leaking milk.
Oh my God. When they hit him with the fucking baseball bat and he just starts spraying milk out of his neck. When I was a kid, when I tell you, I was like, I'm going to throw up. Like, that was so...
Poor old Bilbo.
That freaked my shit out. I thought about that for days, and I was like horrified. I was like,
Why?
I don't like. It was so overwhelming. Just him spraying milk,
Why?
and it comes out of his. I don't know.
Okay.
It's coming out of his mouth, and he's jerking around.
It's just shocking that he's not human.
Well, I think
Kind
it
of.
was that. Yeah, I think what freaked me out is that. So this is a thing that sometimes can get me. Is when. I don't know quite how to describe it, but when like something happens to someone and it's sort of like excused, like they hit him in the head with a baseball bat and he started malfunctioning, so they just kept hitting him. And I think that's what really freaked me out was that like he wasn't human, so they were like, it's fine to destroy him, and like that sort of thing, that sort of like dehumanization, sort of like that thing could really scare me. When someone would be like it both, like I didn't really know how to feel about it because I'm like, yeah, he was scary doing that, but they kept hitting him and that was scary too. So it's like this thing where I'm like, and that was like just absolutely fucking yeah. There's another like this thing happened to me in The Descent too because, and I was a full adult when I watched it. The main character, her husband dies in the beginning, and she's like, without explaining much of it, she's trapped in a cave. It's just her and another girl who she finds out slept with her husband, and so she can help the girl leave, and she just decides not to, and she leaves her in the cave. That scared the shit out of me because to me that's making a decision that someone deserves to die because I mean there's like a whole thing where like the person accidentally kills someone, but like she's literally in the middle of like fighting one of the creatures off, and and someone is walking up behind her and she stabs them, but it's one of the other people, and she like there's nothing like in this situation. It's not the same. It's not the same moral decision because in this decision, this person's bleeding out, and these creatures, like, can hear like really well. So like to drag someone or to like, it's not like no one's going to survive, and it's that thing of like I did this thing. It sucks. And she tells them that the person didn't survive because she didn't know that they did because she stabs them in the fucking neck or whatever, and they're bleeding out. But then they find her, like one of them finds her later, and she's like, this person did it to me, and then immediately dies. And I'm like, right, but you wouldn't have survived. Like they're still in the cave. You would be dead. Like there's no way around that. Like nothing could have fixed this. It sucks, but like, you bled out from the neck, like, and so she leaves this person behind because she like cheated on her husband, and I was like, you are letting someone die because you feel morally superior to them, and that scared the shit out of me. The creatures in the cave, all that, I was like, okay, that's creepy. Her leaving her friend behind because she decided to put all her grief and rage on this person. I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, I can't. Like that sort of stuff scares me more than anything.
I don't know if I've talked about this on here, but like that is what impacted me about when I first, I've only seen it once, when I watched Spielberg's War of the Worlds. Was showing the horror of those moments when people have to make those decisions. Like in that movie, it's not like that where it's like
right.
But there's a moment where somebody gets a car. They find a car that's like a minivan or whatever. And they're like, somebody else is wanting to get in that they know, and they're like, I'm sorry, like, and then they drive off. And then there's a scene where everybody's trying to jump onto the ferry boat. Those really got
stuff
me.
like that is really, like, that's really impactful. But, like, that stuff really scares me because, like, to me, that's, like, that is more of the question of, like, the scariness of it doesn't really matter what the situation is. It doesn't matter what's going on. You're showing the reality of if someone doesn't think that you're human enough, if someone thinks that your life matters less than theirs, they'll also into the descent, the person who is like, who's being like cheated or like who cheated is not white. And the person who leaves them behind is a white woman who feels morally superior to this person. And so it's like really scary. Like that was so scary to me.
That's funny that I remembered that.
Yeah. Because it's terrifying.
I wasn't conscious that I remembered that until you said it.
It's so, like, it just freaked my shit out. Like, that sort of thing of, like, if I don't think you're worth, and this is where the idea of, like, you know, I mean, I'll stop after this, but, like, this is why you can't trust, like,
white people?
Well, yes, but no, this is why prison systems and things like that are ultimately defunct, because when you place a moral superiority onto, like, when you make the rules as being part of a moral superiority, then you're able to not just like skirt around what is really truly a crime and what isn't, but you will also unintentionally or intentionally, but you know, a lot of times unintentionally not realize that you have a moral bias against someone. Like, you think black people have less of a conscience, so they deserve more punishment. You think they're, you know, stuff like that, where it's like when you put morality into the decision of whether or not a person deserves to survive, then you're going to, that's eugenics. Like, you're going to get into the question of eugenics. Like, okay, well, only smart people. Okay, well, where's the line on that? And what counts as smart? Then it's like, okay, autistic people shouldn't be able to breed. We should kill babies that are like this or like that. You know, you could be like, okay, that's a big jump between like hitting an android with a baseball bat or like leaving your friend behind when you don't necessarily have to. But that's why it's scary, because that's the first step towards that. Yeah. And that's
how
wars, I mean, correct. And that's where, like,
that's how war functions. That's why genocides happen.
Correct. Yes. And that's where I get really freaked out, is when someone's like, I've made the decision. And also because, you know, not to make it too personal, but as a kid, I was the person that was dehumanized the most. Right. You know, out of my family, out of anyone like I was around, I was always the one that got left behind or chosen, like other people chosen above me. So I was like, that's me. That's who I could be, you know. And I saw myself in the people that were hurt, not necessarily in the people that were doing the hurting. So that's where my fear came in. But that has nothing to do with the being. And sadly, this movie is weird and it has a lot of green slime in it. Okay. What do you recommend?
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely, yeah.
We went in blind. That's the best way to go. Yeah. Have no expectations, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be fine. It's not a good movie. Don't go in expecting a good movie. Okay, don't go in expecting some great dialogue or acting or directing or editing. Go in expecting a creature feature from the early '80s with zero budget that happens to also have Martin Landau in it. Like,
and Jose Ferrer.
Yep.
And Ruth Buzzi. And the old lady. We didn't talk about this.
Yeah, I forget her name.
So here's the thing, because they didn't, surprisingly. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if this is an oversight.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Given the rest of the writing. It's never made explicit the connection between what's her name's missing son, and the creature.
What do you mean it's never made explicit?
The most explicit is that scene where the waitress is walking her home, and she's like, "Wait, don't go inside. There's slime everywhere." Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh, that's just some of Michael's."
Right. Well, they also say her kid disappeared at the dump site. Right. Is what they say. And then I think she says it. I think at some point she's like, "It's Michael," or whatever.
I think that's the most we get. But here's what. Is that Michael in the opening sequence? Or, I don't. And then there's the scene. There's the POV shot where, to me, I thought
It's not because Michael in the opening sequence is the kid in the car.
that's what I'm asking.
I don't think that's Michael because
I'm asking, is Michael the kid in the car?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, that's what you just said.
I said that. No, I said the kid at the beginning is the kid in the car. Is what I was trying to say.
I see. Okay.
So I don't think that was Michael because that was the kid in the car being chased by the creature. So that wouldn't make sense that was Michael. Whatever. Yeah, it's not.
Also confusing to me is the different ways the creature appears or manifests, because sometimes it's just like a long ass tongue.
That is
tendril.
its tongue.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
but
no,
then
I
there's
agree.
the small solo body thing that can fly
Yep.
or
And it
chuck itself on top of people.
It also just disappears sometimes. Doesn't really get explained.
Oh, that's right. Gets melted by the light.
Yeah.
I've discovered its cell structure is light sensitive. It breaks down completely in the light. I think it sleeps here during the day.
It went crazy when I turned on the light in the freezer.
Oh, I guess it's anybody that it kills then gets turned into a creature. Is that the idea?
No, because I think it just eats them. I think it just eats them. I don't know. It doesn't. It's not explicit. It doesn't say.
Okay, so what do you? Okay, then what do you make of that scene? The POV up the stairs, down the stairs.
That is it. Okay, I'm assuming that because she starts saying, "Michael, come back, come back,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "Did it take a baby?" And she's just in its room, being like, "Where's Michael?"
Because it goes into a
It's
child's room.
in her house,
Right.
and from my assumption, this is long after the child has disappeared.
Yeah.
She has kept its room the way it is, so it's just coming back and visiting, and she
So Michael just came home to get a toy or something.
Yeah, Michael came home
Peace
to be
out.
like, I remember this place. I used to poop my pants here.
So I think it's better that isn't. I almost always side on more ambiguity is better, but
Yeah. Yeah.
in this case, definitely.
This movie is all ambiguity all the time.
Yeah,
this movie
baby.
said it's not it shouldn't be called the being, it should be called the ambiguity.
Oh, schnit.
Oh my god, I'm fucking a genius.
Yeah, you are.
I want to know which film out of this series.
Wait, I want a few more comments. Fuck.
4 more comments?
A few.
Oh, okay.
So like 8.
Oh, fucking god damn it.
Why are you so itchy?
I'm hungry.
Oh.
I'm itchy knock knock hungry.
Roll over. Like, remember
I don't get it.
when we were like, we didn't go back. We didn't verify this, but it's set up that Mort is hot for, what's her name? The waitress.
Titties waitress.
Oh, fuck. And he's like, what time are you off?
And she's
And
like,
she's like,
7,
long shift. And he's like, what time you get off?
and she says 7:30. And then he says, why didn't you wait for me? And she says,
It's
I waited till 11:45.
Okay, that's all.
11:45. Like, I was gonna bring that up, but I was like, you know what? I don't need to damage our psyches anymore when they've already been.
False.
Well, okay, fine.
The sad thing, as soon as the dude fishing without a license shows up, I'm like, I hope this is the director or whoever. Of course, not realizing that.
The director was, she's a lady.
Yeah, and that I'm also like, oh, or the producer.
Yeah.
No, that's the star.
That's the main star, yeah.
Lori is the name of the waitress, apparently. Oh, and Michael's mom is another notable Dorothy Malone, whom I didn't recognize, but I mean, she also looked familiar-ish. She's clearly someone from a previous era of Hollywood. Oh, she's in Basic Instinct.
Oh, shit.
She's in the Fast and the Furious. 1954.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, it's got fun shit like that. And, I didn't finish this comment earlier. You get to see Mort walking a lot.
He has a car.
He has a car, and you see him hoofing it so much.
They were like, you know what? We want these apple-bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Like they really wanted to show his little bell-bottoms jeans.
It was a legitimate surprise, although it had taken too long, and that's why I was surprised actually. When he's on the chain or whatever, and then he falls.
Yeah.
So kudos.
Yeah.
Because they invested so hard in that.
That being the
sequence.
way out. Yeah.
In the showdown with the monster, he releases all kinds of cyanide, breaks, and then the monster or whatever, for reasons, bottles of sulfuric acid and shit get broke all over the place. By this point, he's lost his gas mask. But he's fine. Mm-hmm. And none of that affects the monster, apparently. So, my favorite thing about the monster design, the creature design, is that one little eyeball that's always jiggling.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the creature design is when it goes flying into the car and he kicks the door shut. That was the best scene in the entire film.
How about when the cat gets the cup stuck on his face?
That was funny.
And then Martin Landau loses absolute mind.
That was amazing when he loses shit because of the cat. That's amazing. Okay, but what was your favorite of the series that we've done so far? We did The Long Good Friday. We did that other one.
Long Good Friday. Easy.
We did Little Bitches. We did Seventh Sign. We did The Being. Yeah, you're right. Long Good Friday is probably the best.
Legitimately good film.
It's true. I really enjoyed The First Power a lot.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I think The Being was a lot of fun. I think the Long Good Friday was actually just a really good fucking movie, and as proven by the fact that I took a bunch of screenshots for it. It's so good.
I had the most trouble with Seventh Seal. Sign. Yeah.
That one was rough.
That was the hardest
but I had
for
more
me
fun.
to give a shit about.
I forgot about this, but I was listening to the episode. I was like, yeah, this one was fun because we just jumped off of Banshees of Inisherin or whatever. Oh yeah. And that movie was that one was too rough. That was too rough of a movie. I did not have a good time watching that one. And then we went from that to watching Seventh Sign, and I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Give me some pregnancy fetish porn.
And I was excited about this because of the sequence we watched them in. That we watched Seventh Sign and then First Power, which are very similar in tone and premise and religiosity or whatever. So I appreciate. Yeah,
it's good.
And this is one where this is the kind of like picking the themes and a constraint like that. It really pays off because look at the variety of films we saw and shit that we would, maybe got around to eventually, but like definitely with no urgency.
Correct.
And what a variety. What a cornucopia.
What a crazy journey we've been on. We've gone on this one. Scratching it.
And I'm glad we watched all of them. There's none of these that I'm like, ugh. I mean, as kind of disappointing Little Witches was, and
it was definitely an experience.
Painful as Seventh Sign was. Whatever.
I mean, the episode for Seventh Sign, we had a lot of fun with that one.
Yeah, it turned out to be a funny episode.
Yeah.
We made ourselves laugh.
Yeah. That's why I just can't get over. What's Gerger gonna buy first?
Yeah.
That was good.
But, Long Good Friday favorite.
Agree. I think The First Power and The Being are pretty tied for enjoyable experiences. They gave completely different things.
Yeah.
They weren't excellent films, but they definitely gave you something to laugh at and to enjoy.
The Being falls solidly into, it's just a schlocky, low budget horror flick, so you get what you get, and you know what to expect, sort of.
Yeah.
You know the fun is going to be the things that are bad about it.
Yeah.
And you get rewarded with, some nudity and a decent monster.
Yep.
As we discussed, or as you'll hear in our discussion about First Power with Randall, it kind of is in between and in that awkward space where it's Or
good.
For me,
it's too good to be campy, and it's too campy to be good.
Right. It has its moments of
I agree.
both.
Yeah.
But
Where the First Power won me over, and you'll hear us talk about this a little bit, but where the First Power won me over was really in the way that it does like stunts and how it.
Yes.
It just it really fucking
100%.
Killed it.
It really shines in that department.
It was really surprising. I mean, I know it was 1990, but it was actually really surprising in what it gave in the way that it did. The jump, the car crash, the fucking bag lady, all the shit that went on. I was just like, what?
Different movie. It's
all that
stuff punches above the weight of
correct.
the rest of the film.
The fight scenes were a completely different movie than the rest of the movie, and the fucking kick on the
spin kick on the catwalk and the
oh my god,
the backflip. That's what you're talking about.
Yes,
backflip.
The amount of fucking flips they did. Man, they went for it. But I think definitely, I agree with everything.
Long Good Friday, amazing soundtrack.
Yeah, the cinematography, the fucking just the acting, the story, the pacing, so much of that movie was just they were like, hey, fucking here's a movie that's never gonna fucking grow old, and you're like, okay, yeah. I've never. It's so good. I get so bored with movies from that period of time because a lot of times they drag just a little too much.
Yeah.
But they're not they're not cinematic enough a lot of times to be able to drag. Right. And you're like, oh my God, nope. Long Good Friday was just constant action, constant dialogue, everything. There's just constantly something going on, and you're like, oh, and you catch up to it, and you're like, what? And then they're like, JK, movie's over. You're like, what the fuck?
JK, here's a demo derby.
They do all that, and then Pierce Brosnan says,
hi,
girl, I feel fish.
Smelling these cherry trees, Idaho, lovely Idaho, daisies on the grass. Grandma Sue, the cows and you.
Yeah, back at you, Liv.